Near Villers-Bocage, Normandy. Mud splashes against the olive hull of an M4 Sherman as it grinds up a narrow French lane, the sound of its Continental radial engine echoing through the hedgerows. Inside, the five-man crew, young, sweaty, and running on 2 hours of sleep, brace for another ambush. Sergeant James "Red" Halverson, a 24-year-old tank commander from Michigan, peers through his periscope and mutters, "Feels too quiet." 300 yards away, concealed behind an orchard, a German Tiger I waits. Its commander, Oberfeldwebel Franz Wirtz, smirks through his optics. The Tiger's 88mm KWK 36 gun, precise, devastating, was the terror of Allied armor. He murmurs to his gunner, "A Sherman. Easy prey." When the first shot cracks, it's deafening. The Tiger's shell punches through the air, tearing a path through the hedgerow and slamming into the road just short of Red's tank. The crew jolts. "Driver, left! Smoke now!" Red yells, pulling the hatch shut. The Sherman lurches into reverse, engine screaming, white smoke billowing behind it. For the Germans, the Shermans were a joke, a Tommy cooker, as they called it, because of how easily it burned. The Tiger's thick armor, over 100 millimeters on the front, could shrug off hits that would rip an M4 apart. On the Eastern Front, Tigers had torn through T-34s like paper. Here in France, they expected the same. But this time, things were different. Behind Red's tank, 3 more Shermans fan out along the hedgerow line. Above, the distant whine of aircraft grows louder. P-47 Thunderbolts circling overhead. The radio crackles. "All units, mark your targets." Air's coming in hot. Within minutes, the orchard explodes in chaos. Rockets streak downward. The Tiger lurches as a near miss shakes the earth, showering it in dirt. Its crew can't move. The 56-ton beast is too slow to escape. Through his periscope, Red sees the Tiger retreating, its confidence gone. "Now who's laughing?" he mutters. The Sherman's 75mm gun barks twice. The first shell glances off the Tiger's turret. The second smashes into its flank as it turns. Flames erupt from its engine deck. For years, German crews mocked the Sherman. In Normandy, they began to realize this inferior tank wasn't fighting alone. June 12, 1944, near St. Lo, Normandy. Dawn breaks over a landscape scarred by fire and steel. Burned-out vehicles smolder along the hedgerows. The morning mist mixes with gunpowder haze. From a distance, the rumble of engines echoes, a sound the Germans have come to dread. On a low ridge, Major Hans von Richter, commander of the 2nd Panzer Battalion, scans the valley through his Zeiss binoculars. "So many tanks," he mutters. Below him, the fields are crawling with Shermans, dozens of them, churning up mud and dust as they advance in columns. Each one may be weaker, slower, thinner-skinned, but there are hundreds. His adjutant hesitates. "Herr Mayor, reports say more are coming ashore every hour." "They build them faster than we can destroy them." Richter lowers his binoculars, his expression hardening. "Then we destroy them faster." But deep down, he knows that's impossible. Each Tiger I takes 300,000 man-hours to build. Precision craftsmanship, custom machine parts, armor rolled to perfection. A Sherman? Just 10,000. American factories like Detroit Arsenal are producing one every 30 minutes. In the time it takes to assemble a single Tiger, 30 Shermans roll off the line and onto transport ships bound for France. The German tankers begin to sense it during the long, grinding battles of the hedgerows. Every time they destroy one Sherman, 3 more appear. They start calling them Panzerfutter, tank fodder, because there are too many to count. Meanwhile, American tactics evolve fast. Red Halverson's crew learns to outflank, to call in P-47 airstrikes the moment they spot a Tiger, to coordinate with infantry carrying bazookas. The Sherman's mobility, once dismissed, becomes its greatest weapon in the labyrinth of Bocage country. By late June, the Germans realize their kill counts don't matter anymore. Their supply lines are collapsing. Fuel is rationed to single digits per tank. Spare parts arrive too late, if at all. Allied artillery pounds every crossroad, and Allied aircraft own the skies. One morning, Richter's radio operator shouts, Tiger 213 hit. Airstrike out of nowhere. Richter grabs the receiver, but the static is all that remains. He watches helplessly as a P-47 streaks across the sky, loosing rockets that slam into a distant tree line. Another Tiger burns. From his shattered command post, Richter looks out over Normandy and whispers, "It's not their tanks. It's their machines." For the first time, the German Panzer elite begin to grasp the truth. They are fighting not just an army, but an industrial empire. July 18th, 1944. Operation Goodwood, east of Caen. The ground trembles long before dawn. British artillery opens up with a fury unseen since the First World War. Thousands of guns, firing in unison, light up the Normandy sky. The barrage stretches for miles, a wall of fire and steel rolling toward German lines. Among the shattered hedgerows, Sergeant Red Halverson's Sherman lurches forward in second gear. Dust clouds rise behind as hundreds of Allied tanks, Shermans, Cromwells, and Fireflies, advance across open ground. Above them, Typhoon fighter bombers scream overhead, their rockets slicing the air. Red grips the periscope handles. "Feels like we're riding a wave," he says to his gunner. "Yeah," the gunner replies, "a wave of tin cans." He's not wrong. The Shermans are exposed. Dozens will burn before reaching Caen. But the wave doesn't stop. The Allies know they can replace every loss. The Germans can't replace one. Across the field, Major von Richter's remaining Tigers wait behind a ridge near the village of Canny. The commander leans over his map, tracing the Allied advance. "They're coming straight through our line." "Are they insane?" His gunner answers softly. "Maybe they don't need to be sane." At 1,000 meters, the first Tiger fires. One Sherman erupts in flame, then another. But before they can adjust their aim, a shell slams into the Tiger's side, a 17-pounder from a British Sherman Firefly. The armor cracks open like glass. The Tiger's turret bursts into a pillar of smoke. Von Richter's men panic. Radio traffic is chaos. "We're surrounded. Shermans everywhere." He looks up from the periscope, the field now crawling with green hulls, engines roaring, guns blazing. Each explosion shakes the earth. His Tiger crew fights to reposition, but a rocket from above slams into the turret ring. The tank jolts. Smoke fills the cabin. He shouts, "Get out! Raus! Raus!" As von Richter climbs from the hatch, choking on fumes, he sees something he'll never forget. A sea of Shermans advancing across the plain, relentless, unending. For the first time, the German tank ace feels small. The legend of the Tiger, its myth of invincibility, dies that morning outside Caen. No single tank can withstand an army that rebuilds itself every hour. The Shermans may not have been the best, but they were everywhere. They fought as part of a machine, the Allied war engine, that never slept, never slowed, never stopped. By nightfall, the fields are littered with wrecks, Tiger and Sherman alike. But the line moves forward. The German position at Caen collapses. Operation Goodwood breaks the back of Panzergruppe West. That evening, as Red Halverson leans against his tank, now blackened with soot and shrapnel, he mutters, "Guess the joke's on them." August 7th, 1944. The Falaise Pocket, France. The roads are chaos. Columns of German armor retreat in disarray, engines sputtering, fuel almost gone. Smoke covers the horizon, and the distant rumble of artillery never stops. The once proud Panzer divisions are being squeezed tighter by the hour, trapped between Canadian, American, and Polish forces closing the pocket from all sides. Major Hans von Richter stands beside the smoking ruin of his final Tiger. Its treads are blown apart, its main gun jammed. Around him, men stagger down the road, blackened by soot and fear. He hasn't slept in 3 days. From the west, they hear a familiar sound, the deep, mechanical growl of Shermans. Not one or two, dozens. Von Richter lowers his binoculars. "There's no end to them," he murmurs. No end at all. The German defenses, once anchored by the invincible Tigers, are now overwhelmed. The Allies advance relentlessly, Shermans fanning out like swarms of insects, backed by artillery and rocket-firing aircraft. Even when a Tiger lands a perfect hit, it's a hollow victory. Another Sherman simply rolls up to take its place. In the chaos of retreat, a young corporal beside von Richter shakes his head. How can they build so many? Von Richter looks toward the western sky, filled with contrails. Because they fight with factories, not just soldiers. Across the valley, Sergeant Red Halverson's crew waits at the edge of a tree line, their Sherman idling. Through the gun sight, Red watches German vehicles burning along the road to Falaise. He feels no triumph, only exhaustion. "They're beaten," he mutters. "They just don't know it yet." Over the radio, a voice crackles. "Advance to Chambois." Cut off the pocket, Red's driver nods. "Guess we finish this." The Sherman lurches forward again, tracks grinding over shattered metal and the remnants of German armor. What once terrified Allied crews, the sight of a Tiger, now lies broken in the mud. The tide has turned completely. By mid-August, 50,000 German troops are trapped in the Falaise pocket. The air reeks of oil, cordite, and death. When the smoke clears, the panzer divisions of Normandy are gone, crushed not by superior firepower, but by logistics, coordination, and the relentless will of Allied industry. Von Richter is captured near Troon 2 days later. When Allied troops search his belongings, they find a small notebook. Inside, he had written only one line: "We built monsters. They built an army." September 1944, Cherbourg Harbor. Shermans roll off the docks in endless rows, lined up for transport toward Paris and beyond. American engineers inspect them, replace parts, paint new serials. Behind them, Liberty ships unload ammunition, trucks, rations, everything an advancing army needs. The inferior tank has become a symbol of something far greater: the power of scale. For every Tiger Germany built, America built 50 Shermans. For every destroyed tank, a replacement was already on the sea. The Sherman was never meant to dominate. It was designed to endure. Sergeant Red Halverson watches as his crew services their battered M4. The side armor is pocked with hits, the engine patched with scrap parts, yet it still runs. "You know," he says quietly, "this old girl's tougher than we thought." His gunner grins. "Guess that's what wins wars, huh?" The ones that keep moving. As the column rolls out toward Paris, the camera lingers on a long, unbroken line of Shermans stretching to the horizon. Their engines hum in unison, a mechanical heartbeat that never stops. The laughter of the German tank crews has faded into history. The Sherman, mocked, underestimated, and written off as weak, prove that wars are not won by perfection, but by persistence, production, and people who refuse to stop fighting.